Edition. Hi everyone and welcome to this edition of You and the Law. You and the Law sets out to discuss the issues of law in society. In today's discussion, I'm setting a scenario and then I will respond to it. Now here is the scenario. Mr. A is a successful businessman in Lagos. He does the business of transportation of goods from Kano in northern Nigeria to Lagos in the southern part of Nigeria, and he's been doing it successfully. Along the way, his friend decides to partner with him, gets to him, and then seeks to contribute to the investment so that he can also make profit from it. And Mr. A accepts the offer. Okay, maybe Mr. B wanted to invest 10 million naira or 20 million naira into the business so that he can increase the purchase from Kano to Lagos. Mr. A accepts it and decides to reduce that into a memorandum of understanding. In the memorandum of understanding, the investment sum is mentioned, and then the profit margin is also mentioned. Let's say every month, the investor is going to take 5% or 10% of the income of the profits that has come into the business. And the parties accept this, and the business has been going on smoothly. But along the line, the uncertainties of business begin to set in, and Mr. A is unable to continue with that business. Maybe the high cost of petrol or any other thing has happened, and Mr. A is unable to continue with that business, and therefore the investment comes to a halt. There is disappointment there. And the investor then decides to invite the police to arrest Mr. A. The police come in, arrest Mr. A, take him to the police station, detain him for several days, and the condition for his release is the payment of the invested sum to Mr. B. And the police make it clearly a condition that if Mr. A does not pay the money or does not issue a check to pay the money, then they will not release him. Here is a question. Does the police have the right in the circumstance, in the scenario just given? Does the police have a right to arrest and detain someone over a purely business transaction? The answer is no. Under the Nigerian law, the functions of the police have been clearly listed. Recovery of debts arising from a business transaction is not one of the requirements, it's not one of the functions of the police. Therefore, any policeman who engages in the arrest and detention of a Nigerian citizen or the citizen of another country who is in Nigeria, any policeman who engages in the arrest and detention of citizens or visitors to the country for the purpose of recovering debts, that policeman has acted contrary to the law, and the law frowns seriously at it. So the policeman is liable in damages to the person that has been arrested and detained. And the police force is also liable in damages for that unlawful detention. That scenario is seen by the law as unlawful arrest and unlawful detention. Why? Because, like I said, the police do not have the right in law to arrest and detain anybody for the collection of debts arising from a purely civil transaction. If the report has nothing to do with crime, then the police have no business in it. Police cannot dabble into purely business transaction. If they do, they have offended, they have breached the fundamental rights of the person that they have arrested and detained, and the police can be made liable in damages. Now, what's the remedy? What should the person that finds himself or herself in this situation do? Get your lawyer immediately, write to the police, request for immediate release of the person that has been detained. Or you go to the court straight and file for enforcement of your fundamental rights. Your rights to personal liberty, your right to freedom of movement would have been infringed upon by the action of the police arresting you and locking you up for a purely civil transaction. Again, the police have no business entering into purely civil transaction for the purpose of recovering debts for the person. So what should the person that has lost money do? he should simply go to court. He files a case in the civil court and seek recovery of his money. Debt recovery is a matter purely for the civil court and not a criminal matter, and therefore the police have no right to dabble into what does not concern them in law. I do hope you have learned one or two things. Do not allow your rights to be infringed upon. I do also hope that the police have been reminded by this video about the limits of their rights, about the limits of their powers under the Nigerian law. Drop your comment at the comment section, and also remember to share this video, follow the channel so that together we can continue to discuss the basic issues of law in the most simplified form. No citation of big sections of the law, no big jargon, no big grammar, no nothing that is very difficult to understand. Law in the purest form, in the most simplified form. That's my mission here. I remain your friend and your host, Ekemini, and I wish you all the very good period in the country as citizens of the country. I pray that you continue to enjoy the rights available to citizens, that this right will not be infringed upon by policemen or any other security agency in the country.